Hello, everyone. This is James, and I just want to take a few minutes of your time and just talk to you about an article that I've recently read. It's about a couple of months old, and it's on Forbes.com and also CNBC. And it discusses, I'm just going to read you a little snippet on there. Um, Basically, what it's about is 66 million Americans have absolutely no emergency savings. They define this as money that is readily available in savings, checking, or money market accounts. So 66 million people have $0. And just in case if something happened to them, they may have to be able to not afford it. They may have to go into credit card debt to pay for that emergency, or they may have to use their utility bill or their rent to go ahead and pay for that emergency. The one thing I think is most important in finance is to make sure that you have money in savings just in case, God forbid, something may happen. The rule of thumb is usually about 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses. But if you can just do, uh, you know, I think a good goal maybe would try to be about $1,000 worth of an emergency fund. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to just take like 2 months and bam, you have the emergency fund. Or, 3 months. It's going to take some time, 6 months, 8 months, whatnot. And what I believe, it's not about how much you save, it's about getting into the habit of saving. So I'd rather you save $5 a month than just $0 a month. So whatever you can, just put away. So I'm just going to talk about three things that you can do to start building up your savings. The first thing is to build a budget. You must know how much money you make each month and how much goes towards expenses, because that's the only way in which you're going to know really how to manage and master your money. If you don't know that and your money is just going around to, who knows where, you're never going to be able to get to those goals that you set for yourself, even if you have set any goals. Um, we all wish and want things, but we really have to apply that action. And building a budget, knowing exactly where we are and knowing exactly what we need to get it towards that goal is a great step right there. So building that budget, knowing how much money you make each month, how much goes towards bills, and the name of the game is to make sure that you have money that's left over. So it's left over, so you can do things such as either pay off debt, saving for that financial goal, or in this case, what we're talking about, which is I think is the most important thing before credit, before the home, you need to build that emergency fund right there. So and once you have that money that's left over, you need to go ahead and start adding it to your savings, which then comes to my second way in which you can start saving a little bit more, and that is opening up another savings account, or if you don't have a savings account, opening up a savings that is separate from your primary bank. So let's say, for example, you have Bank of America. You go there, you use it all the time, and let's say that you have a checking account with them too. Most people, especially the people that I see, if they have their checking and their savings linked, when they see that their checking account is low, they then go ahead and reach into that savings and transfer that money into the checking account, which only takes about less than 20 seconds to do. So you need to find and kind of give yourself a little hack where you can go into a bank, and I recommend either an online bank like Capital One 360, or a community bank or a credit union, and open up an account with them, and then start putting that money away. Whatever that leftover amount was that we did with the budget, let's say that you have $50 left over at the end of each month. Maybe it's smart to put away, $10 of that, per paycheck. Have it go through direct deposit So you could put in, a certain amount, dollar amount that you want to go into that savings. You can also schedule a transfer too as well. What a transfer is when you just, if you have online banking, you could just schedule a date and a time where a certain amount of money goes into that savings account that you just set up. So make sure that you get a savings account that is separate from your primary banking institution. And then third would be to use technology. Technology is so advanced that we can do so many things now that we weren't able to do in the past. One thing that we can do, especially with your bank too as well, is they have programs now where I believe, and it's different from each bank, but it's saving the change that you have. So let's say that you make a purchase for $1.50, right? And what they would do is they would round off that $1.50 to $2. They would take that extra 50 cents and put it into a savings account for you. So that helps. Yeah, it may be nickel by nickel, but it's a lot more than what you were saving with in the beginning. Another thing that you can use to save, and I use this too as well, is called Digit. Digit is an app where you link one of your checking accounts, your debit cards, and what it does is it analyzes your purchase transactions and takes little small fractions of money and then transfers it into a savings account. And most of the time, you don't even realize the money being taken. They, of course, give you a notification telling you, yes, this amount has been taken, but it's so little that you don't really even realize it in like your daily purchases or whatnot. So it's Digit. You can go digit.co to, sign up for that. I highly recommend that if you are having a problem with savings. So just to wrap it up, budget. So make sure that you have money that's left over so that you can then go to number two, savings account, opening up a new savings account that's not with your primary bank. And three, use technology, use different programs. So like Saving Change program, as I said before, it's called, there's different terminology in different banks, and also the Digit app. So thank you and happy savings. Let's go. Let's get this savings. Let's do it because we need to bring money. I don't want to see anyone having to use their rent, their utilities to pay off an emergency, or using their credit card to pay off an emergency, which will put you in more debt, which then will go ahead. If you have interest, you're just giving the big credit companies more of your money that you can use for yourself. So happy savings, guys. Have a great day.